Hi, this is Sudarshana Starshine Star. Thank you for being here with me. It's a beautiful Sunday. It is August 4th and it's still 2024. Boy, I have so much to share with all of you. Not only this clip, but I'm going to do my best to put out even some more clips this evening because, wow, the news is hot off the presses. There's so much going on. I like to start all of my clips, though, with the 3 opening prayers. That's to bless and protect and purify and sanctify you, me, and this clip. The prayers are short, but they're in Sanskrit and Telugu. It's the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshvaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnu Sashivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashante. Om Bhur Suvah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhako Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, I want to say happy new moon to all of you. It's the peak day of the new moon. Every full moon has 3 days, and every new moon has 3 days. And the second day, which is usually the day that you'll see in the mainstream media that they call the day, but that's actually the second day of the moon cycles, and it's the strongest day. It's called the peak day. So today is the peak day of the new moon. And it's a wonderful time of every new and full moon. They're wonderful healing times. But on the new moons, you have to be a little bit more observant, because when your chakras open up like this on the moon cycles, the new moon particularly can be very much a kind of ringing out of your chakras in terms of things that have been stuck in there, not just from this lifetime, from any lifetime, will come out, that they need to be healed, like blocks and patterns and stuck heavy energy and stagnant stuff. So it's the high positive that's happening, because you do want that to come out. But I don't have to tell you. If all of you, I'm sure most of you are human that are listening to this, and even if there are some that are not human, you still know what I mean. Healing is not generally, a smooth and pretty process. So it doesn't often feel so wonderful when things are coming up to be looked at or cleared, or when you're processing through something. But the alternative would be just to keep everything stuffed down inside of us energetically, and then it manifests into the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, the etheric. You don't want to keep everything locked up in there like a big, sleeping bag zipped all the way up over a cesspool. I mean, that's like a nightmare way to live. No one wants that. So why I'm saying that is that when I say that today is a wonderful time for healing, many of you might observe people around you or within yourself that you just feel off. You might feel extra grumpy, extra sensitive, kind of want to snap a little bit more. You just feel like, I don't feel that great, possibly. And if you do feel that, if you have this awareness that it's a healing time, maybe you'll actually have a different point of view about it, which will make you feel better. Because there's nothing, it's very hard when things are going on and you don't feel well and you don't understand why. All of a sudden you just woke up and you're like, I don't ever have a case of the Mondays, but this saying makes me laugh. You're like, I have a case of the Mondays. Anyway, let me get to what I want to read to you guys. All right. I'm just going to start with this. All right. In 2008, military intel source, White Hats, leaked info to Putin that the United Nations backed Gates, and that of course means Bill Gates, Mossad Foundation, Obama, was funneling money into Russia, Ukraine, and were in the midst of creating biolabs and figuring out the sequence genes of the Slavic people. The reasons were for future biological engineered weapons that would attack the Slavic population. Klaus Schwab, German Bilderberger Group, slash NASA, slash CIA, slash UK Majesty Royal, slash Mossad, all planned to exterminate the Slavic regions from Poland to Russia to southern EU Slavic countries. Putin had become a huge problem, getting rid raging war of deep state, MSM, mainstream media, Khazarian mafia enrolled banks in Russia, connected to, cabal, Mossad, Khazarian oligarchs, many inside the cabal slash CIA. Klaus Schwab wanted revenge for Russia killing millions of Germans in World War II and for Russia aligning with the Allies to bring down the Third Reich and for Russia's control over the Soviet Union era. And I just want to make a note here. The people that I've mentioned, whether it's Klaus Schwab, whether it's Bill Gates, they're not around anymore. They've been taken care of. Military tribunals, crimes against humanity, Bill Gates, that's a long story because that being was taken care of a long time ago. But what you see are what we call 2.0s or sometimes 3.0s or 4.0s. You see what were clones and then doubles and actors with face masks. And then nowadays, a lot of time, it's just CGI, green screen, or what you might call deep fakes. The technology is even much better than that, but even getting a tiny taste of what can be done is enough to pull the wool over a lot of people's eyes. And let's see, what did I want to mention here too? Yes, like Obama was taking care of it. What you see is not the original. Obama's name was Barry Hussein. That's not who you're seeing if you see some kind of a speech or something like that. Nope. You're not seeing the real person. All right. So let me give some quotes. This is from that comic strip called Peanuts cartoon strip. Here's a meme from that. And it's the character Linus, and he's sitting at a school desk and he's saying to the character Lucy, "No one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them. No one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them." And then here is a little quote I want to give. It's called Chess Tip. And it makes me think of the situation that's happening in the UK right now. Specifically 2 days ago, the amazing thing that happened when the Catholics and Protestants in Ireland joined hands and joined together in unification and marched down the streets in solidarity to do a protest against the illegal immigration, the open borders, the defund the police policies, the allowing criminals to do all their crime and to do whatever they want, and if perchance they even have to go to court to have no bail and be back on the streets, in the blink of an eye, like in a lunchtime, they're back out there doing more crime. And rinse and repeat, that cycle going on over and over again. So it's not a surprise, and it's planned. It's not an accident. It's been very planned. So here's Chess Tip. Here's a quote. "Don't let your pawns get gridlocked with enemy pawns for too long. They'll start talking, realize they have more in common with each other than with their own kings, and revolution is sure to follow." Yes. And here's a little quote or a little thing I want to say about foreign aid. If you want to give like a little correct definition of it. Foreign aid, it's a noun, yes, a euphemism for taxpayer money that politicians launder back to themselves via family, friends, and corporate donations. Yes, spot on. All right. Now I want to go to from Leading Reports, a blue check account over on X at Leading Report. This was a post from 6:29 p.m. on August 3rd, 24. It says, excuse me, breaking, the U.S. government has accidentally sent at least $239 million in developmental assistance to the Taliban since 2021 due to the State Department's failure to properly vet award recipients, according to a news report. According to a new news report. Sure. And from an account called Recall Katie Hobbs, a blue checkmark account on X at American Hubener, which is spelled American then plus Hubener. This guy saying, misappropriation of U.S. Afghan aid is really the WEF, and that's the World Economic Forum, purposefully stealing from U.S. taxpayers to fund terrorist's who support one world government. The DNC, and that's the Democratic National Committee, view American citizens as cogs in a globalist machine to help erase America with its borders. None of this has an innocent explanation. Anytime laundered money is discovered, WEF punish those who discover it by blowing up their buildings, like what happened with the $2.3 trillion found missing in the Pentagon on September 10th, 2001. September 10th, 2001. And what happened on September 11th, 2001? I don't need to remind you. Okay, now I'm going to go to an account called Anonymous Freedom 17 on X at Basiri Mike, Basiri, then Mike, and it was posted at 12:32 p.m. on August 3rd, 2024. This is the truth, even if you don't want to believe it. The greatest enemy of the world equals the governments of Israel and their murderous Zionist Khazarian affiliates, the Mossad and the Zionist Shin Bet. And excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that wrong. Shin, second word is Bet, and a very senior part of the IDF, which, is the Israeli Defense Forces. It is simply very sad to see the notice boards in the cities of the deceased every day, which have doubled over the past 5 years due to an abnormal and improper state of quality of life, the cost of living, VACCINATIONS's, price increases, and severe mental stress due to all the problems that the criminal governments have created and the biological and military weapons that have been used against civilians during the CORONA period. Electromagnetic radiation that harms civilians and cause severe damage. This is the truth, people. The war is real. The news is fake. The citizens of Israel have been a victim for 76 years to a criminal elite that is only interested in money and control and not in the public interest. The traitors are in large numbers, and therefore everything is closely monitored. There is always a change in plans. From the 1950s and 1960s, they built hundreds of tunnels in Israel for their crimes and for emergency situations where they hide. Israel is last, and that's a quote from Q, the Q drops. Israel is last for a very justified reason, the Khazarian Zionist mafia. The current situation cannot continue. People are simply dying of hunger and are unable to continue surviving economically and health-wise. The damage is very huge, and the restoration will take years. Everyone without exception should know what the Khazarian Zionist governments of Israel and their affiliates, the Mossad and the Shin Bet, have established in the Middle East region, whether it's in Eritrea or the Congo or other such and such countries that are considered poor and incompetent militarily and economically. The Israeli military bases that are used for serious crimes against children. And I'm going to talk more about that on my next post that I'll put up later this evening. I can't believe that there would be anyone that wouldn't know. But when it says crimes against children, that's not just talking about raping children. That's not just talking about raping babies as they're coming out of the mother's birth canal. Babies, toddlers, small children, and, prepubescent children. It's also talking about satanic ritual abuse with them, and it's also talking about pedivores, which are numerous. Pedivores are pedophiles that also eat the babies and the children. This is a subject and a topic that needs to come out now, out of the shadows, because it's not rare, it's not uncommon, it's been going on for a long time, and time is up for people that just want to bury their head in the sand about what's really going on, as far as I'm concerned. So they're used for that are used for serious crimes against children. The trade that comes from Lebanon towards Israel, and from there to the area of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Africa, and from there to Europe. The Zionist institution is everywhere. It is a giant octopus that has recruited hundreds of thousands to its service in order to become a big monster. We are fighting human animals who have committed serious crimes against humanity, and especially small children. This was the most profitable business of the Khazarian Zionist governments of Israel and their murderous affiliates. Everyone should know this truth. And then from the Sacred Blue Tent on X at Sabrina Gal 182, she wrote all in caps, EBS comms, exclamation point. For those of you that don't know, EBS means Emergency Broadcast System. And the Patriots of America, we've been waiting for this, the EBS to go, or it's sometimes called the EAS, for years. That will be when everything has to shut down, and it will come across all the phones and the laptops and the television screens, just one channel. It will be emergency alert. It will tell everyone to go home, and then they'll begin broadcasting news that people really need to know, the truth of what's been going on, including showing the military tribunals and the capital criminals being punished. I think they'll show that. I don't know. But they will be showing who's been on military tribunal and give the meat of the truth that's been going on. And it will be time to know. All right. So then, so Sabrina said underneath that EBS comms, she has World War III info. And I always call it World War IV because I do count the Cold War as World War III. But she's saying World War III info. The Home Front Command of the Israel Defense Force has announced the creation of a new alert system for, quote, surprise large-scale emergencies, end quote, similar to the United States Emergency Alert System, which will allow location-based emergency messages to be distributed to residents in seconds using cell broadcasts. Okay? And then with that post that she put, there was also a 3-second quick video that showed all Hebrew script, and there was when you clicked on it, it made a very large sound, that happens when the EBS comes on, that loud sound. So that's going on. And then from BRICS News, BRICS News, and for those of you that are unaware, BRICS means Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Those were the original BRICS nations that started to group together to pull away from the fiat currency of the U.S. petrodollar and to refuse to have to be bound to using that for, in order to use their currency. So the slavery of the controllers, the slavery of the evil satanics, whom I call the controllers, or the evils and their minions, we're still in a war with them, but there's a lot of good news happening. So anyway, from BRICS News, this is from X at BRICS Info. It says, just in, Israel's security agency Shin Bet prepares an underground bunker for leaders in Jerusalem. And then they showed a photo of Bibi, Benjamin Netanyahu. And then they showed that next to a photo of what's like the Iranian Ayatollah walking with 3 soldiers in military uniforms. There were 3 different uniforms. 2 of them were highly decorated and looked like they were, I couldn't see their ranking, but they had medals and generals or whatever. And there was one who looked like more of a common foot soldier in camouflage. And that was posted today at 8:46 a.m. on August 4th. Also from BRICS News, it says, Iran has told Arab diplomat it doesn't care if a response attack triggers a full-scale war with Israel. And they showed a picture of the Iranian Ayatollah with a military group gathered around him. And that was posted at 8:24 this morning, August 4th, 2024. And then again from Sacred Blue Tent on X was posted at 8:24 this morning, August 4th, 2024. The title says, Dead Pedo Buffett Dumping Apples, Crash Coming. So dead pedo refers to Warren Buffett, who is not around any longer, was picked up, given military tribunal, received sentence for treason and crimes against humanity, a pedophile, and most definitely a pedivore. So that's why the title is Dead Pedo Buffett Dumping Apples, Crash Coming. So there's still things that are happening through these, 2.0s or 3.0s of these people that I say that are not around. From the good side, which we call the white hat side, or the evil dark side, which we call the black hat side, there's still operations and things acting through them. So the supposed quote unquote Warren Buffett is dumping Apple stock. And then Sabrina's giving a warning that a crash is coming. And it's going to be a necessary crash. I don't think it will last too long. It will be really scary for people, which is why people like me do these kind of broadcasts. It'll be really scary for people who don't know anything that's going on, and they'll think it's another 1929 situation, but it won't last long. But it's necessary because we're getting out of the whole rotten controllers, elite, Federal Reserve, nightmare, fake Khazaria Mafia, fiat currency system, and we're going to go back to, we'll be back to our constitutional republic in the United States, and we'll have our gold-backed dollar note or gold-backed notes. They're also called rainbow currency. That means backed by gold, backed by silver, and some other precious metals. But all currency, even if it's like XRP or XLM, it has to be backed by a precious metal. And there'll be no Bitcoin, by the way, so word to the wise. And then that was linked to a picture of Warren Buffett and an article from Business News, which said, Warren Buffett unloads Apple shares. Berkshire Hathaway has slashed its stake in the tech giant by nearly 50%, filing show. And that was from 8:24 this morning, August 4th, 2024. Then Anonymous Freedom 17 on X at Basiri Mike posted at 12:23 p.m. today. One of the most criminal people on earth, who made most of his money trading small children, and a few years ago bought the ISCAR, the ISCAR company, from Steph Wertheimer. Everything is going to come out. Who the hell are these families? And then he put that next to a devil face emoji. I mean, he most definitely knows who these families are, who these satanic elite families are. That if you want to find out more about that, go onto my YouTube channel, which is called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star. You'll see the list of videos there. You can scroll down. I have a series that I started about a month and a half ago called The Controllers, along with different other types of audios and some videos I have on there. So look for the Controller series if you want to get some background information. And when I talk about the Khazaria Mafia or the 13 bloodline papal ruling families, or who's been ruling the earth for thousands of years, you'll need to get that information. So go there and do that. I also post on my TikTok, which is called Mahakali Yeshua 9. My user name there is at Starshine Star 909. Okay, then from Asgard Intel WW3, an info alert, and that's on X. It says, hashtag Iran told Arab diplomats that it does not care if the response against hashtag Israel leads to the outbreak of an all-out war. And that was a quote from the Wall Street Journal. Iran's response will cross Israel's, quote, red lines, end quote, sources tell Al Mayadeen. And that was posted today at 7:07 a.m. Excuse me, that was posted at 7:07 a.m. on August 2nd, 2024. Asgard again goes on saying, hashtag breaking, hashtag WW3 info. Hashtag Israel intelligence services are preparing an underground bunker to receive high-ranking officials and the country's leadership where they can hide from a long period of time. That was posted today at 8:37 a.m. Then Asgard continues, breaking Israel, Army spokesman Hagari. We have extensive plans and we are ready against hashtag Iran to implement them. Quote, we will carry out every instruction we receive from the political level, end quote, he said. That was posted this morning at 9:11 a.m. Asgard continues with hashtag breaking new, all in caps, NEW, interference in GPS tracking in hashtag Israel due to fear of Iran's attack. And there's a picture that shows a map of, it has like the city called Tartus at the top, and then it's showing down to Beirut and down to Haifa and Damascus and then down to Gaza. That's like the whole area that it's showing. And then plastered on top of all of it, the GPS is completely unavailable. There's a message in white type plastered on top of that that says, current location not available. Your current location cannot be determined at this time. It's totally out of order. That was posted today at 6:38 a.m. And then Asgard continues, breaking, hashtag breaking. Western, hashtag Iran, is facing GPS malfunctions / interference. And then he showed some maps. There was the map of the area of Tehran, and then Baghdad, and then to the right and north of Baghdad, there's like a red location blob, you know, like those little dots that look kind of like a teardrop blob. And then next to that, there was an image showed that was a little video clip about 3 seconds long that showed a moving image of a GPS blue dot that was moving from below a city called Kermanshah, Kermanshah, and up to northwest of a city called Nokan, and it's not working. The GPS was totally out, and that was posted at 4:33 this morning. 4:33 a.m. this morning. Asgard continues, hashtag breaking, hashtag UK, paid British far-right shills. Now, when he says far-right shills, they're not far-right. They're just paid hooligans and criminals, and they're pretending to be standing in for what's, just the people, the concerned people of the UK that don't like having their children unalived with knives and nothing happening about it, or machetes, small children, and it continues on and nothing gets done about it. And they're being, the prime minister even, these cabal, these nightmare satanic minions of the controllers, they're just so ridiculous. The prime minister calling all of the UK, all these parents, all these people that come to the streets and they're protesting and they're wanting something to be done. Of course, they don't want their children just to be made mincemeat of for no, and nothing to be done about it. And it keeps going on and on and on. And so they're protesting, but they're being called football hooligans, or that term far right, which just is inappropriate. I've recently heard a very good independent newscaster, explaining in a beautiful way that just because you're angry, it doesn't mean you're far right. It doesn't mean you're far left. It means that you're angry about something and you want to protest something, but that is not laying out all your political views. Just because you're wanting to protest and say, hey, we don't like this, something needs to be done about this. So with they're paid, these criminals get paid, much like we saw, I'm in America, like we saw, and I'm in a blue state area, saw hideous destruction from Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They actually burned down a lot of the city that I am in, and I experienced a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about here, but it was so frustrating to see across the country, just the blind dummies, some of them my friends, a lot of people that I knew, some people I didn't know, that just thought that Antifa and BLM were like the best thing in the world, that they were so great. And I was like, listen, I will videotape and I'll show you what they are doing. You can see with your own eyes. It's very dark. It's very criminal. It's very destructive. It's homicidal. It's nothing good. Anyway, So this post from Asgard again is saying, paid British far-right shills looting shops after yesterday's destruction of the public library in hashtag Liverpool under the eyes of so-called law enforcement. And then he made a little note, was Robinson, and he's talking about Tommy Robinson, who I've been posting about lately. Was Robinson not arrested before the idiot spreading violence in the UK under, quote, TERRORISM, end quote, suspicion? He's talking about Tommy Robinson getting picked up for that, which is completely ridiculous. And then he showed on X, he showed films of these shops being looted somewhere in London by a huge horde, you know, like just like we saw Antifa and Black Lives Matter doing. They smash the windows, they go in, everything's a mess, everything's on the floor, everything's ruined, they rip up everything, they take all the merchandise, they're swarming in the streets with everything they stole. And then there's a picture of like a superstore that got looted, and it's like completely wrecked. The floor's covered with trash, everything's knocked over, it's empty. It just looks apocalyptic in there, or I don't want to say, wait, I shouldn't say apocalyptic, because I keep educating people that the apocalypse comes from the Greek. It means the great unveiling. But in common use terms, I misspoke there. But anyway, it looks like it's like a disaster area. Then he showed a black and white photo of a large bonfire, a book burning from, didn't give a date, but it looks to be the late 1930s or the early 1940s, with some men in visible NAZI uniforms. Uh-oh, you're going to hear a jet. That is so loud. Since yesterday, I think it's the Blue Angels. They've had like these jets breaking the sound barrier. They just fly and they're really, really loud. But I love them. God bless them. Anyway, so early 1940s, visible NAZI uniforms. Lots of townspeople giving that NAZI salute as the books are burning in the bonfire. So he's showing that picture along with that post. And also from Asgard, hashtag breaking alert. Heavy rains flooded the metro in hashtag Madrid, the capital of Spain, reportedly on August 2nd, 2024. And he showed this video. Oh my God. And it says the underground system is now filled up with water. And there's like big exclamation points. And then big exclamation points by what he wrote, exactly what MSM, mainstream media, didn't want to tell. And it shows like a huge gushing, like a river coming down this like an underground tube or metro entrance in Madrid. The water's so high, like, you know, chin level, like you'd be like a rat swimming in the water there. And it's completely flooded. And that was posted at 8:16 a.m. this morning, August 4th, 2024. And I just want to make an aside. That's not from heavy rains. Those are the DUMBs, the DUMBS, the deep underground military bases and deep underground cities that have been being flooded since President Trump first took office. This whole earth realm is underneath our feet. Almost the entire thing has huge tunnel systems underneath it. Some of them are very old satanic ones from a very long time ago that you find under South Africa and Australia. And then they built on top of that some newer ones. And I gave an example because it's a pretty good example. Under the DIA, the Denver International Airport in Denver, Colorado, here in the U.S., there was an underground city that went down 8 miles. And that's not uncommon. You'll see different cities, different things, and they have all different kinds of things in there. A lot of terrible things, a lot of, whether it's experimentation on human and animals in biolabs, and there's satanic ritual abuse areas in their temples. They also make very nice living quarters for themselves, and even have things staffed with parks with trees, even some kind of an artificial sun they put in there. They prepared 150 years worth of food storage for themselves. They prepared that they could go live in these things while they wiped out most everyone else on the earth surface. So that's what that flooding is about. Like we saw just a couple months ago, and that really should have caught people's eye. If they don't know, they're thinking, why do we have all these floodings? Like all these things that happen. Well, when Dubai, which is a desert, a couple months ago, out of the blue, completely flooded, like biblical flooding, they were the White Hat Global Military Alliance flooded to wipe out any beings that were down in those tunnels, as well as what was in those tunnels, as well as knocking them out of use. So they flood them. Okay, let's see. They also do a lot of, when you see the shallow, all the earthquakes, and you can go to something called Raspberry Shakes, and you can look at exactly seismographically whenever earthquakes happen in the world, like how far down, how many meters down they went, how long they lasted, this and that. You don't have to be a meteorologist or a seismologist to know that earthquakes that Mother Nature is doing don't just go down a few meters consistently across a huge swath area and with no aftershocks. You'll see this repeatedly over and over again. That's the White Hat Global Military Alliance blowing up of these DUMBs and underground cities. They blow them and then they flood them. Okay, so then he's saying exactly what MSM didn't want to tell you. And I already told you about the DUMBs. So I'm going to go to this one. Okay. I have some really juicy stuff. I want to end this one here, though, because I have something so juicy. I wanted to put it on this one, but I was like, no, this is long enough. I'll just do it in the second clip I'm going to make today to put out on my socials. God bless you. Thank you for being here with me. Please remember to like and share and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, or if you're on my TikTok, to heart it or like it. I really appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. I'm going to close this clip like I do all of my clips with the closing prayer. It's in Sanskrit and Telugu. And what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. It's a noisy time. I'm at an open air terrace, so excuse all the noise coming in, but I'm wishing you peace, peace, peace. God bless you and yours. I'm giving big love and hugs to you and yours, and I will see you when I see you. Bye-bye for now.